Welcome everybody to another episode of the Love in Reality podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. We are back, and you guys listening at home know exactly what I'm talking about. The return of Love is Blind is here. Season 7 is kicking off in Washington, D.C., and I am so ready to dive into this season, folks. When I tell you, as someone who has seen the entire season, when I tell you that this season is absolutely insane, I mean it. I mean it. I mean it. It's crazy because what we're looking for in Love is Blind is we want to be happy. We want to see couples falling in love, but then we also want to see the drama. And that's all wrapped up in this season. Season 7 is kicking across 12 episodes split over 4 weeks. Week 1, October the 2nd. Obviously, you've already watched them if you're listening here. Episodes 1 through 6. Week 2, October 9th. Episodes 7 through 9. October 16th, episodes 10 and 11. And then week 4, October 23rd, is the finale. Whew. Weddings galore on the week of October the 23rd. And then we have the reunion coming Wednesday, October the 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And I promise you it's going to be explosive. But without further ado, folks, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Love in Reality podcast. We're going to break down all 6 episodes right here. This is going to be a long one. Sit back, plug the earplugs in, put the AirPods in, and let's enjoy this ride. You know why? Because the pods have opened. All right, let's dive in, folks. Like I do every single season, I just write down running notes as I'm watching each of these episodes and have a blast with that. I highlight the fun things, highlight the crazy things, and then as we shift from the pods to Cabo and to the parent aspect of moving in together, I kind of break it down by couple. But right now, as we're entering the pods, as we're getting introduced to these couples, I'm going to share my thoughts as things happen. All right, just a few things that happened right off the rip, right? Leo hit asking the hard-hitting questions about what your favorite Trader Joe snack was. I love that. Love that. Checkpoint one for Leo. Ashley A is fierce, and I like her. And her and Tyler hit it off relatively fantastic here, quick and early. Nick Dorka. This dude's last name is Dork. This dude seems kind of like a fuckboy. I said that on my page. I said that on my breakdown of this cast, and I just can't kick it. Can't kick the idea of the potential. He's a former kicker slash punter. This dude was getting a lot of screen time in this first episode, which means, you know what? Means we can expect to see him for quite a while. Enter Hannah with Mr. Nick. This is a weird back and forth. Her laugh is a little bit of an acquired taste, but Dorka does love telling people that he does love playing, that he did play football as a punter. However, Hannah is now mucking it up with Leo, and these two hit it off. He is an art dealer. His biggest insecurity is a girl only wants him for his money. Interesting. Looking at the guy, I can see why that'd be his insecurity. Now, Leo and Brittany time. She likes athletes and rock stars and says she can seduce them all. She said she is a trophy wife. I mean, that's perfect for Leo, right? You know what I mean? Garrett has entered the fold. He's meeting with Taylor. These two have a delightful little conversation. We get a flash of food. We know what that means. We got to see the food. All right, Tim has entered the pods. He has come to the pods to find his wife. Alex has entered the pods. She is into astrology. Both of her parents have MS. Both of his parents have passed away. We see Garrett in the middle of a conversation playing basketball in the pods, which is quite an interesting choice. But Leo and Brittany are back at it. He brings up money. Brittany sees dollar signs and gets excited. Oh, she wanted to be a trophy wife. Remember that? And I think she's ready to marry this man. She asked about splitting the bills. He said he doesn't believe in 50-50, but he doesn't believe in 50-50, but doesn't agree with 50-50. She brings up laundry list of things that she needs, brings up her nails and her hairs and stuff like that. She said her last relationship was 100%, where I guess the guy paid for everything. He said his biggest insecurity is someone trying to marry him for his money. She said if she wanted his money, she would have married a long time ago. I mean, okay. I mean, whatever. This dynamic here between his just constant just money, 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 and her just I don't know, her whole persona is just gave me the ick early on in the show here. Leo says he doesn't want people to take his money, but he tells everyone he has money. I just don't understand where Leo is consistently saying money, 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 money. Money. Leo tells Hannah he had a dream about her. This guy loves to hear himself talk. He better pick her over Brittany is what I said early on because Hannah seems to like him and doesn't know how. I know doesn't know about the bank account yet. Now it's Nick D and Hannah time. These two like each other. They have a pretty good banter and back and forth. I kind of like what they've got going on so far. Not a big fan of Nick D, but we've seen it before, right? We've seen people become acquired taste where they become a different person. Maybe there's just a persona building as we're trying to get some TV time. Garrett and Taylor are mucking it up. They both really, really like each other. This went from good to weird when she brought up her ethnicity. He asked what she was hiding, and she hit him back with, I want us to get to know each other without these things. She wants to protect herself and wants to feel enough for someone. I, the way he kind of reacts here was kind of weird, right? For me, the concept and the idea of Love is Blind is to find love sight unseen, right? You're supposed to fall in love with the pods, not know each other, not know what one another looks like, and you're doing all of these things. So when conversations like this arise, if she's telling you, "Hey, I don't want to tell you about this," then back the hell off a little bit. That's not the point of this experiment. You're supposed to fall in love with the idea of one another. Then, of course, if you come out in the reveal and you're like, oh God, he's ugly, well, then, it is what it is type of thing, right? All right, Ashley and Tyler. He doesn't believe in roles. This guy's amazing. He believes in cooking and cleaning. They can do both of it. These two are funny. I'm sold. These two need to lock it in. I love Tyler, and his vulnerability is beautiful. And the way he just pours out to her, I love it. You can feel the comfort. You can feel the comfort from him in these conversations, right? There's a level of comfort for a man to really pour out his soul. And the same for a woman. You know what I mean? The same for both sides. I think it's a comfort for a person to really be vulnerable in these situations. You're trying, again, this is an expedited process of finding love. And with that, you have, to understand that aspect of this show. He said, he called her his girlfriend. He says, I'm telling everybody. Um, let's see here. Leo is talking again. Tyler is giving, and this was what I loved the most right here. I loved, and I mean, I loved the absolute fact that Tyler kind of gave him the business here, right? Tyler, again, well, just a well, I don't, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a man. He's just a man. He knows what he wants. He's probably been around the block a few times. He's probably had some shitty relationships. He's probably been through some shit in life, and he knows what he wants out of life. And he tries to give Leo this kind of advice. You know what I mean? But Hannah is obsessed with Nick, and everyone is telling her what I assumed, and I thought that he's a fuckboy. And she says he is superficial. Nick says in the pods, it's Hannah. He's wondering who else she is dating, and Leo is also saying Hannah. Hannah and Nick in the pods now. She opens with, I have many concerns with you asking him why he is here. He said he has reflected, blah, 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 blah. He wants unconditional love. She brings up how he talks about himself, talks himself up and not having trouble finding someone in the real world. And he spins it to then, why are you here? She calls him out saying, you'd be like, what likes me in the real world? She just dropped some kind of bombs on him. And he said, what you are describing is what I want in a wife. She said, I think you like it because you think I'm hot. Her gut is telling her he is a fuckboy. Well, then run, girl. He talks up things saying that she said she can only marry one person. She said, I like you, but I don't think we can spend the rest of our lives together. She isn't sure because she thinks he still needs to work on himself. That's the thing. We're ironing out things in this early process of understanding. I understand Nick. He's like, yeah, sure. There's certain aspects of my personality that might be fuckboy vibes and I might give it up. Maybe he's not. You know what I mean? Maybe he's not a fuckboy. You know what I mean? But Brittany storms into the girl pods and reveals, I'm talking to Leo. And she like walked into the room and it shocked Hannah. And it was kind of weird because I don't, it was just kind of confused. Like, because, Leo's going to dump your ass and you're going home. Like, she was kind of like stirred away from Nick and maybe like done with Nick type of thing, or maybe not. Episode 2. We're kicking off episode 2 with Monica and Steven. Look, new people. These two are smooth. He brings up once that he cheated in Mexico. I think I like these two. I think again, the conversations are a little bit better, I think, this season so far. Again, 2 episodes in. Let's calm down. I know, Ricky. Like, hey, slow down a little bit. But I do think the conversations here are a little bit better. Hannah is crying about making the wrong choice. Maybe she shouldn't have dumped old Nicky boy, because I thought Nick's done the wayside. She said he's got to work on himself. She's like, I just can't. I don't think we can spend the rest of our lives together. It's over. It's a wrap, right? Brittany and Leo time. Brittany tells Leo about saying she was on a date with him and it caused a ripple effect. He said he has a crush on her. She said she's in a sad mood and maybe she should have went home. What? And then Leo says he's falling for her so hard. She's not thrilled. He has more. She is not thrilled. He has more than one girl. He told her that they are both his number one. She is flabbergasted that he said this, like absolutely distraught. And I think both number one is gonna go down in history as like a top 5 line in Love Is Blind history. Like this is gonna be something that probably will be brought up in the reunion, and I can't wait for it. Hannah and Nick D time, they're back. I guess she said she made the wrong. She's like, I feel like I made the wrong decision. She said she listened to other people and she's scared he won't like her. I didn't. I thought Nick was gone. Nick said he's leaving. Now they're back. So Hannah and Nick are a thing again, I think. Leo's talking to Hannah. He said he wants to explore both until the end. Taylor and Garrett are talking. She got him a plant, an avocado. He asked, would you be my girlfriend? She says no. It was kind of funny. Back and forth. Bowden was born in the Ukraine when he was 2. He shortly after coming over to the United States. His father passed away. He's meeting with Marissa. These two talk about their love of reading. He talked about his time in the military. She talked about her time in the military. I think I really like these two. And then in the pods here, we see that Bowden and Ramses are chatting and both are going after the same girl in Marissa. Marissa and Ramsey are chatting. And now these two kind of seem how that like they have a really good chemistry here. I really feel like she says it tells him that she's picking between two people. He said he expects to be in love. He said he expects to be in a love triangle and is worried. Ramsey says he was married in the past, which is something that I really do love because second marriages happen. You know what I mean? Divorces happen, period. I like them, but also like her and Bowden. I like I'm really like back and forth here in the early stages of the season of who I liked more. Obviously, as this episode develops here, you'll hear more about what I feel. But she said she dated a Trump supporter for 3 years. That was just random, but I think that just shows the balance of the kind of men that she kind of dates in her life. Garrett got Taylor some sunflowers and a very sweet gesture. I kind of like this Garrett guy. He asked for her to be his girlfriend in the note. She says yes. Now we got Tim and Alex are back together. These two are getting more serious and start talking about their upbringings and their families. Things got deep when Tim told her about his sister and their passing. This is, again, one of the most beautiful things I've seen, right? These men are willing to be vulnerable and not vulnerable just for the sake of love. We're not just being vulnerable, saying sweet things or just telling stories. No, we're being vulnerable about life events that happen that have truly affected these individuals and really unpacked their lives and altered them in ways that cannot be fixed, right? You know what I mean? It was just absolutely beautiful. It was real. It was authentic, and I loved it. And Alex ate it up, obviously, as well. But it's great to see stuff like this. Even these two could break up tomorrow, but it doesn't matter. We're still getting these authentic, I believe, conversations in the pods that are really essential in what makes us come back for this show more and more. All right. Garrett and Taylor time. She said she got him some stuff and read a little sweet letter that she read to him. Many, 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 many sweet words that her grandfather wrote to her grandmother. She said, "You've been my number one for 9 days and running, and I can't wait to lose count." First off, you've been my number one for 9 days running, and I can't wait to lose count. That was a fucking line. Like, holy cow, Taylor. Like, that was a top-notch line. I loved it. You know what? We get our first proposal. We got our first couple on the board, everybody. We got Garrett and Taylor as our first couple. I like them. They're just like the perfect little couple right now. One thing that's going to be interesting to see is how the relationship unfolds because I think Taylor's a beautiful woman and Garrett's kind of a little bit nerdy and he's not exactly the most great looking guy in the entire world. No, looks aren't everything. It's not, but the thing about it is the intimacy of this all, the physicality of this thing has to match the emotional thing. Because if it doesn't, then it's not going to work forever. Let's see here. Stephen and Monica talk politics. I did read ahead of time, obviously heard on the internet, like they're going to talk politics, blah, blah, blah. They do talk politics some. He mentions voted for Trump because he didn't like Hillary and then voted for Biden the second time because he didn't like how Trump ran his presidency. Now he says he identifies as white and then talks about this story. And he said he did an ancestral background and his family is West African, Nigerian, and he's half black or part black. I mean, saw a little chat here. Tyler and Ashley A again, they're about to eat, and he said a prayer. I love the idea of talking about faith and being able to express their feelings about it together. Again, it's important to have different ethnicities and different faith and backgrounds on this show. Again, it's what makes it unique and different, right? They have a nice little eat together, and then they listen to music. I love this. I love these two. We have our first meeting, which transitions into episode 3, which is Taylor and Garrett time. They kiss. He proposed. She said yes. I think I like these two. Um, her mom's from Hong Kong. Her name is Feng, and she didn't reveal her authenticity. No, ethnicity, and didn't want that alter to change anyone's thoughts. She's 5'9". He's like 6 foot. Yeah, those two are going to be plugging. But yeah, it was a really good meet. Was kind of worried again. I still think that there's there's going to be some wearing off of the idea of the first reveal and stuff like that. Ramses and Bowden are buddies and realize that they're both talking to Marissa. She says she's been in love one time and he has twice. He says he's been previously married. She joked and said that they could be a throuple. They were both in the military. They both said it was a yellow flag. These two have some electric chemistry together, talking about Bowden and Marissa, but also believe Ramsey and Marissa also do. Ramsey said he's getting all in his head about opening up because he said he needs that reassurance, and she gives it to him. They talk about kids. She doesn't believe in the mom doing everything, and I love that. He said he doesn't believe in the domestic aspect of things. She brings up the possibility of him being a stay-at-home dad, and I love that. And he said he's okay with the idea of working remote. And the thing about it is her like she's going to law school, she's going to be a lawyer, and all these things. Like it's like like she's not fucking around. You know what I mean? She's not just going to school for anything. She's going to school to be a lawyer. That's a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? So she could be making a little cheddar cheese. You know what I'm saying? Like we all bringing money to the pot. The thing about this is that what I noticed early on, the conversations between Ramsey and Marissa really are deeper than what we see with Bowden. And I feel like watching that, we've kind of seen that. Tim and Alex, he said he is a dog and needs someone that bites back. He said he questioned whether or not they could work out or it would just be heavy. And he said the idea of that just being heavy, back and forth, like serious. You can't be fun. You can't have a fun conversation, he says. But this conversation opened up him to the idea of them that they're capable of having fun together, which is important. You have to have fun. You know what I mean? We can have serious conversations all day, but you got to be able to laugh and joke about stuff. Ashley got Tyler a birthday balloon and a cheesecake. He got her flowers. She wrote a little sweet something for him, and he read it to him, and she dropped the love bomb, and we got the second proposal. Tyler's been toting her blanket around and makes him feel a certain way. I love these two. So Ashley and Tyler join Garrett and Taylor as our second engaged couple. I'm loving it. 2 for 2 so far. I'm really liking the couples. Back to not liking people. Leo said it's between Brittany and Hannah to David about this. David said Hannah broke things off with him because he was 5'8" and she was 5'9". I mean, look, I don't consider that a bad thing, right? I don't at all. Like Hannah doesn't want to be married to somebody shorter than her. Like he said it like such a terrible thing, but I mean, You know what I mean? Like, sorry, she doesn't want to be married to a midget. My bad. All right, Brittany's sad because she doesn't have her superpower of seducing guys with her eyes. Whatever, dude. Leo's sitting down with Brittany. She complains he isn't giving her the emotional security, and she said it's not just his decision that she could just say no and leave. He said she was sweet, and she said, I'm tired of everyone saying I'm sweet. He lists all the things he loves about her, whatever. He said after he meets with his other connection, he promised he can give her an answer. Like, what the fuck does that even mean, bro? Just make a decision. Leo is comparing marriage to playing doubles tennis, and he isn't sure if he likes Brittany or Hannah more. Whatever. He sits down with Hannah and he brings up his financial stuff again. He does bring up a prenup, which is about damn time, and Hannah said she's okay with it. She said she has external insecurities because of weight, which was interesting. Here we go, seeing if Leo is judgmental. She brings up losing weight during COVID. She said, if you gained 100 pounds, I wouldn't care. And he said, if she was 500 pounds, he said, if she was 500 pounds and thinks he could like her, thinks he could like her, thinks if she was 500 pounds, he thinks he could like her. He says he wants to talk about the other girl. He brings up the other girl, and she said, I want to talk about us. Again, why the fuck are you talking about the other girl while you have your girl right here in front of you? If you're trying to make a decision, make the decision. Hannah and Nick D time, he talks about how her first date was LOL, and she shuts it down. Leo talks money. Nick talks about being a kicker, aka an athlete. I hate both of these guys at this given time. She brings up the money, and he said he's struggling in real estate. Okay, okay. He said he doesn't care what she looks like. See, I just said hated both these guys, but now I'm reeling Nick back in because he came back with that answer. That answer, quick too, right? Quick. It wasn't a hesitation, right? It wasn't a I think I could like her if she was 500 pounds. He said, boom, fast. He doesn't care what she looks like. Nick, you got on my good side, playa. All right, Steven and Monica time. He said he wants to feel wanted. Yes. I I love that. Very much so. Very, very important in a relationship for both the man and the woman to feel wanted. They exchange I love yous. He breakdowns and cries. Steven, I came full circle on. I like these two, I think. Ashley and Tyler meeting, the reveal is so cute. I love these two. He got emotional. My heart couldn't take it. And I loved it because it went from like super emotional to kind of like super kind of like sexual in one way. Like these two are gonna get freaky. And he asked if anything changed, and she said no, it's even fucking better. Let's go. She acted giddy post meeting him, and I just love it. I love these two. I love these are again, to me, it doesn't matter in this point, right? We'll dissect their relationship as we go further into the season. But for me, watching this is why we love this show, right? This is why we like the show. We love the drama. We do love the drama, but we do want to see love. We do want to see marriage at the end of the story. But these reveals, man, they get you every time, especially the really good ones. And the Ashley and Tyler one ranks up there amongst some of the best of all time. Nick D, Hannah time. Oh God, he's an athlete again. Superficial. She said he was supportive. I don't believe it. He said, I'm in love with you. I don't know. I don't know, man. Am I coming around on Nick though? We might. We might. He says, I'm in love with you. And she said, I feel the same exact way. Leo and Brittany sit down to talk. He asks about rings. And she hits him with, I only want to discuss rings if it's only her. And he gets upset. He keeps saying that he is there with them both and she's ready to leave. So he predicts what she would want from a ring. She slides in there. I only wear gold jewelry. I can't stay. Just he did these weird kissy noises, and she said, I feel weird doing that back, which is just so fucking weird. Like this guy is so I understand why he's single. She said she doesn't understand how he could be torn between two people and will resent it either way and will be reminded of it forever. Hannah tells Brittany she is breaking up with Leo and she's excited. Leo tells the guys he thinks he wants to pick Hannah. Oh man. All right, here we go. Hannah says, I love that man. She said he loves two different people and needs someone 100% focused on her, yet she was talking to someone else. He said, I'm so fucking into you. Ask how hard has she decided, and if she wasn't sure yet, he's groveling. This is by far one of the craziest pod conversations we've ever had in the history of the show. By far. Like he was fighting hard. He said they could take over the world. And she's like breaking down, crying, like, what the fuck? He said, what would you say if I asked you to marry me right now? I want to marry you. And he's just like begging, begging. Episode 4, holy shit, this is something that's never happened. She was confused about this and is just locked in with Nick D, but now she's saying she's confused and he's begging for an answer. She broke it off with Nick D before. He brought that up. He told her he loved her and he's in love with her. Leo said he respects her and he says she is the first she is the first person to say I love you because it's his only connection. My dog is fighting for his life out here in the street. He said I got another connection in here. I got another connection, but in here she's said I thought of you and said it was okay because you have another connection. This one, it's just this just my I'm reading my notes. It's the most insane thing. I was so confused that I don't even understand half my notes that I wrote here. This might be one of the most intense moments ever in the pod. She said you have the same feelings, but he said he has more feelings for her and wants to be with her. He said he told Brittany that he didn't see himself saying I love you unless they were going to get married. What is going on? He said, if you believe in us at all, say something. She said, it's very confusing. He said, if I said I wanted to marry you right now, what would you say? She says, I don't know. He said, the schedule is going to dictate your husband. Basically, he was saying, like, if I had the conversation with you first, what would have happened? She said she isn't emotionally available to have this conversation. And this is the thing. I understand he said he will stop. I said, you will see me tomorrow. And she says, yeah, I need to sleep. uh, the way that he kept pushing this was so weird. Like it was a guy fighting again, fighting for his life just to be on the show, right? That's almost, it felt so like if we're giving like an Oscar nomination, this is what we're giving it to. Like it was insane, just the amounts of depths that this guy was going through in order to just try to cling on to the idea of being with Hannah, even though in the back of his head he still was just talking like an hour ago, talking rings with Brittany. I don't understand it. Let's see here. Bowden and Marissa, he takes pictures. He said he takes pictures with guns. And the Trump supporters brought up again, where she said she dated a Trump supporter. Um, and then he goes, "I'm not going to vote for a rapist," and they just kind of both go in on Trump. Um, I really like, again, I really like these two. And I think that if Ramsey wasn't in the equation, it would be a little bit different. But I just don't see these two happening, unfortunately. Tim gave Alex a bracelet that was his sister's. This entire thing, I wanted to cry. Yeah, I just, sweet moment again. Stephen is proposing. He proposed and she said, I love you. I've been waiting 36 years to find you. Back to back, back to back moments where I was just going to cry like a baby. 3 engagements, Ashley Tyler, Garrett Taylor, Stephen and Monica. All right. Marissa and Ramsey, she says, if he is, ask us if he's a handyman. She asks, okay. Let me explain something to you. I'm a big fan of Marissa. Been a big fan of Marissa since the beginning of the show. I just feel like she's got a good spunk. She's got a good head on her shoulders. She's a lawyer, smart, beautiful, the whole nine, right? She asks Adam Sandler and Will Ferrell. Big one. Red flag if you pick the wrong person. Marissa doesn't think Will Ferrell's funny. She is my hero. I've been saying this for so long that I do not believe that Will Ferrell is as funny as people think he is. I think he's only as funny as his counterparts. Let's see here. They never wrote down each other's age, so they tell each other's age here, which I thought was weird. Like, I don't know how many days we're into this process, but we're just now figuring out what each other's age. She's 31, he's 34. I want Bowden and Marissa to work, but I think she's going to break his heart. And then she does. She tells him that she's really feeling Ramsey, and she said that they were more. Her feelings are more stronger towards him. I kind of wanted to cry for him. He takes it like a champ, like a man. Puts his man on anything but perfect match. But for me, again, I knew it was going to happen. I kind of was still sad about it, but we see how two different conversations. Bowden sees, hey, I'm really feeling Ramsey a little bit more than you. I'm sorry. And he's like, you know what? I get it. It's cool. Leo fucking just goes crazy. Hannah tells the girls that Leo wouldn't let her break up with him. She goes over to Brittany to tell her everything was going on. Brittany was calm, but was also very weird about it. Leo's talking to Nick, and he said, Hannah was really emotional. And he starts kind of lying at his ass about it. She said she didn't give him the answer. And Nick says, Hannah and I told each other we loved each other 100 times. Again, give it to him. There's more conversations about relationships in this season than prior seasons in the past, but I do like Nick standing his ground. I don't really care what you say. She said, I said, we loved each other. So fuck off, basically. Nick D, another one for the brownie points, man. All right, Leo and Hannah. He said he's going to regret how he acted for the rest of his days. She said, I don't think I cried that hard before in my life. He said he's going to regret it too. She said she felt embarrassed. He asked if she forgives him. She said yes. He said Nick is better for you. And she said, I've known that. She said, he is my person. And he said, Brittany is mine. And she rolled her eyes. And then he begs her to tell Brittany that it was mutual and doesn't want to think Brittany was her second option. She calls him out about last night. He said he felt betrayed. What? God, I do not like that man at all. All right. Alex and Tim. He's painting, they're painting pictures of each other. His was awful. I love it. He said he had a bunch of beautiful words and he plans on delivering this to her father. I loved him. He proposes. She said yes. She was wearing his sister's bracelet. Ashley and Tim, Garrett Taylor, Steve and Monica, Tim and Alex now. Monica and Steven are meeting. He said, it would be, he said, it would be so hurtful. She said she could get the ick very fast, which is crazy. They meet and she said, you are so cute. Ari followed by like a heavy makeout session. And he said she was gorgeous about 40 times, which I absolutely loved. Love the fact that he did that. Which is cute. She gives him a twirl and he was elated. He gets up and gives his own twirl, which was pretty remarkable. Let's see here. Ramsey Marissa time. Bunch of nice words to each other. Nick and Hannah time. These two get engaged. So we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 couples now. Tim and Alex meet. He came out and said, I knew you was fine. I love these two. They were freaking cute together. I liked it quite a bit. Leo and Brittany time. She wrote a long ass letter to him. She said she wanted to write him something. Love, but crossed it out because she is hurt. Thank God, get these two off the show. Our connection was tainted for what you said to Hannah. Episode 5. He said, I'm going to still tell you I love you because you like hearing it. What? And she goes like, yes, I do. His turn to read what he wrote her. He wrote her some kind of words. It was cheesy as fuck, but it's kind of low-key cute. And then he asked her to marry him. And she said yes. What? Ashley and Tyler. Garrett and Taylor. Steve and Monica. Tim and Alex. Nick and Hannah. Brittany and Leah. That's 6 couples. And we're still missing Ramsey and Marissa. So we're going to have 7 couples in the pod? Nick and Hannah time, he said, what's up, which was the most random shit I've ever seen in my life. Nice little kiss. He said she was absolutely beautiful. Not convinced, but you know what? I'm okay. I don't think these two really kind of like each other. She's in heels. She's like almost taller than him. She says she's never dated someone shorter than her. Yeah, y'all ain't dating, y'all are engaged. I just want to throw that out there real quick. Wait a minute, what are we doing here? All right. Brittany and Leo meet. And what I would like to say is probably top one or two weirdest meetings in the history of Love is Blind. They kiss ish. He asked her to marry her. She said yes. I don't think she likes this guy at all. He says, I'm engaged to the hottest girl on earth. He just gives me the ick dog. He said, I love you. And she said, I'm not ready to say that. He keeps trying to get close to her, but she kind of keeps pushing him away. She said, this is one of the most awkward moments of my life. She tells the camera that something isn't computing, that a stranger just asked her to marry him. Um, I know, like, we can go to Miami or Mexico. I don't even know what the fuck that means. He said, holy fuck, she's hot when the doors close, but she's kind of confused. And then we get a note, guys. Brittany and Leo were not one of the couples chosen by production to go to Mexico. They went to Miami instead and broke off their engagement weeks later. I like it. Ramsey and Marissa meet. She said, you are so good looking. And she said, you are too. These two are cute. Six couples are heading to Cabo. Ashley and Tyler, Garrett, Taylor, Steven, Monica, Tim, Alex, Nick, Hannah, Ramsey, and Marissa. It's time to see if these folks get freaky, and if it's worth it. Taylor said she watched Shrek on the plane because Garrett made a joke about that would be the movie that represented their relationship in the pods. Tyler and Ashley, they talked about sex, and she was abstinent because she didn't feel like she didn't want to have sex with anyone and was focused on herself. Hannah said she forgot what Nick looked like. Um, he said he has a brand back home. He said he won't be talking shit up with the boys. Um, it it's weird because, like, parts of me is like, I understand what he was trying to say here. Like, I've got a brand to uphold. There's things that I've got to do. I've got a reputation. I work in real estate, all of these things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get that. But even so, just a quick plug here. I do have an interview with the cast of Love is Blind. I'm dropping them periodically over the next couple days. But even in my conversation with Marissa, I asked her what kind of she ultimately picked Bowden or Ramses over Bowden, and it was because he was a little bit more comfortable in talking about the intimacy and stuff like that. So that was one of the driving home factors of why she kind of ended up picking Ramsey, because he wanted to have that conversation while Bowden didn't want to have that conversation on the air. Alex and Tim, she's talking about being blind. Yeah, I like these two. They're funny. Ramses and Marissa, she says she can't wait to introduce him to her sister because he isn't what she normally dates, she is his type, which was like, it's just a weird statement, I guess. I don't know. Monica and Steven, she said she used to put emphasis on college and he didn't have those things because she has been waiting on him for a long time. I like that. Again, you can put an emphasis on so many different things in life, but the person you fall in love with is the person you fall in love with. He's adorable because he's like, I've never stayed in something like this. He's ready to go get down, get busy. Garrett and Taylor. These two are interesting. She's gorgeous and he's kind of just normal. So it's going to be interesting for me. Ashley and Tyler. Yep, I like these two. I love they never talked looks or anything like that. They just were getting, kind of straight to it. Um, she mentioned she's used to have a short temper and gets annoyed easily. He talks about he doesn't argue or yell, and if he finds himself doing those things, it's time for him to go. She's worried about him meeting her parents. He wants to take her to Augusta to see his family. He loves his dog, and she does not love. He talks about his dog the way he does, like barks and shit, which is kind of funny. Hannah and Nick. She asked if she cried in the pods with him, and she said no. He said he's ready to see the other beautiful women. And then he said if he got money, would she get work done? Which is another, Nick, like, you were just moving up my ladder and then you just went back down a couple of pegs. Um, she tells the camera she typically goes for guys like 6'6", the best looking guy in the room, and Nick ain't that. But she said she felt comfortable fast. And they started fooling around a little bit. Ayo. Taylor finds out that Garrett sleeps with tape over his mouth. Ashley and Tyler are in bed. They prayed before bed, which is cute. Monica and Steven going to bed. He said, "You're nervous. You're going to make me." He said, I'm nervous you're gonna make the moves on me, which was funny. Ramsey and Marissa seem to have gotten it straight on. And then we are outside, and Nick decides he's gonna ride on this little duck. And Hannah says that's gonna give me the ick if you go do that. And then he does it anyway. And this girl kind of says, "Hey, can I join you and race you on this duck?" And she does. And then the lady um points at Hannah and goes like, "Oh, don't get jealous over there," or something like that. And then Hannah said, "He can't be trusted." He jokes that maybe let's just break it off. He said, "I think you were just jealous." Oh dear. Episode 6. Yeah, let's dive into episode 6 here now. Oh, I just missed episode 6. All right, Marissa and Ramsey talking about smashing, which is interesting. Tim makes fun of Alex's snoring. We should be getting a cast meetup soon, and I'm very excited about that, even though, if I remember correctly, none of these people were dating each other. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. I don't know. Still should be interesting. Garrett and Taylor are at the beach monkeying it up. Everything seems to be flowing well emotionally and physically. He said he would have thought she was too good for him in the real world. Agreed, bruh. You've definitely outkicked your coverage. They're cute though. She said she needs actions to back up them words in the real life. They're both ambitious and aggressive folks and need to compromise on some stuff. Um, these two are cute and goofy, but it's just going to be interesting trying to figure out whether that dynamic works. Ramses and Marissa, they talk about the physical connection being great. Ashley and Tyler, she said if he wants his type, she would have made it work. But she like if he wasn't her type, she would have made it work. But she likes what she sees. He said, "Pod baby on the way." Oh man, I really like these two. She talks about protecting their bubble and doesn't want anyone's opinion to alter what they have. I love how she said she didn't care what anyone said and that she's got this. I love it. I love that. Again, you're in the short time frame, you're in the short span of trying to figure out if is this going to be the person I'm going to spend the rest of my life. And within that, you're nervous because you're trying to figure out my next steps in life, basically. You know what I mean? Like, and you're going to bring all of these outside resources that are going to say so many different things about the experiment, about what are you doing? Are you crazy? Oh, he's ugly, or he's not your type, or he looks weird, or anything like that. You're gonna have all of these ancillary pieces in your ear telling you that how this is a terrible idea. But if you are in love with this person, marry that person. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're going on this experiment for. Alex and Tim, I feel like she hates this man. He picks out a hat and she hates the hat. She said, "I hate your taste in fashion." She said, "I love picking on you." She hasn't lived with anyone before in her life. That should be interesting. She said, "She's kind of messy." She said, "When you look at me, do you get it?" And he said, "Yes." She said, "Mm-hmm." She said, "Not sure until you meet my dad." Shut it down. Monica and Steven, she talks about him not being her type in the real world, but she feels like he's the hottest guy she's ever been with. I love that. I It's like the most sincere thing that you could really say. You know what I mean? It's not my type, but you know what? It is what it is. We get a lot of boner jokes about him, which was hilarious. She said the rest of her lives is a long time, so she wants to keep the boners coming. These two crack me the fuck up. Monica said she get that Nick gave big dick energy, and he better be super hot. um, Oh shit. My bad, guys. Yeah. That was we get the mix and mingle time, you know what I mean? Where the cast is gonna meet one another. And she says that she said Nick gave that big dick energy and he better be super fucking hot. Instead, he's just kind of quote unquote cute. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Nick kind of gave that energy like he's like the sexiest man alive. Steven calls Garrett middle class Chris Evans, which middle class, I'd probably say like lower class or like poverty, Chris Evans, maybe. Marissa's bragging about having sex with Ramses. Everyone is having sex but Hannah and Nick. Nick says, "We ain't having it, right?" Did he ask? Like, did he ask the question? Like, why did he have to ask? He asked her, "Did we have sex?" Basically. Marissa and Hannah talk, and he said that Nick doesn't want to talk about sex with the producers or at all. In the pods, he's all about it. Hannah brings up Nick and then the duck situation, which was Interesting. Ramsey's talking up Marissa to the guys. Tyler's talking up his girl. My dude gets all emotional. The guys are mucking it up over saying "I love you" is beautiful. Again, this was just amazing. We're having conversations. This is the first time we're mixing with everybody. It's like we're letting everybody know, like we're all going through the same situation, right? That's one of the things I think is important about the foundation of the relationships that you build on this show. People don't realize is like you're building a foundation with people that you're going through the same experiment. You're going to go through the same situations. You're going to have the same issues. You're going to hear the same chitter chatter behind closed doors from family, friends, all of that stuff. So why not rely on each other, become friends, and understand that aspect of things? So I love these two just mucking it up over the women. Taylor and Garrett are no on the sex, apparently. Ashley is convinced that she's going to lock down Tyler. Love that. Nick is telling the boys about the duck race thing with the random girl. Apparently, Hannah wrote down 10 things on a piece of paper about him that she didn't like. Self-confidence versus cocky, like this or that about Nick. Hilarious that she went back and wrote down like 10 things about his ass. Nick and Hannah are weird. She brings him over to the girls to talk about the things. They grill him about it. He's just being flirty with kind of everyone out here. I'm going to defend him here because honestly, it's his personality, and maybe it's just there's just some immaturity within him that maybe he could fix. You know what I'm saying? But even so, I don't think this is necessarily a terrible thing. I think it's just something that he could potentially work on. Steven steps up to the plate and says the sweetest things ever, and kind of the ladies swoon. Nick brought up the 10 bullet points to Hannah. He discredits her feelings about feeling jealous. He said that it hurt him to think she thought he was disrespectful, and he's trying to see both points. Her last point was he was delulu, and he asked if she thinks he's delusional. Again, it's just, I feel bad for him. I do. I think some of it's like brought on to himself, but I don't know. Ramsey and Marissa kind of sit down and talk to T about what everything goes down. It was pretty funny. Monica and Steven, the girls love them some Steven. They said you were at the top of my list since the first day. Steve was yabbering for like 10 minutes straight, and she's like, homie, let me get it word in edgewise. Um, it's weird to see that, right? Because my guy likes to talk. And I guess if he's doing it often, I kind of get it, but it kind of got weird fast. I don't know. I don't, it was the first time Monica kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but also like I don't understand the context of it. Actions speak loud. Hannah and Nick, actions speak. These are some of the list of things on the thing. Also on top of this, social awareness, respect, actions speak louder than words. She said she has concerns about the relationship. He said, I'm not the only one delusional. Hilarious. He's true there. Tim and Alex, the following morning, they left the party and things got weird. Okay, so what the fuck happened? Okay. They left the party and things got weird. What the fuck does that even mean? We don't even see the fight happen. Like, something happened, but we don't know what because they didn't show us. She said she's missing home. She said she didn't feel like talking about it. I'm guessing these two got into an argument, I guess. He said he felt very disrespected. She tried to cover his mouth in the middle of a fight. He tried to remove himself, and she said he felt very belittled. He said he felt very unheard. She apologizes, and he packed up his shit and was leaving. She said she crossed the line. He said that some of the shit she said was not cool yesterday, and apparently some of the shit was real out of pocket things about him, and called him a bunch of names. He said he needs to get back into a space where he can see her as his wife and the mother of his child. She said, where does this leave us? And he said, I'm not sure. Can we see the fight or what? It pisses me off. There's like the Brittany and fucking Kenneth thing all over again. She asked him to move towards her, and he said he'd rather not. She moved towards him. Like, what the fuck did she say? He said he came into the room with the full intention of never talking to her again. Damn. She said, I'd like for you to come back. And that's the end of this week's episodes. Do we got trouble in paradise? Do we already couple breaking up? What the fuck? That being said, before the end of this episode, I'm going to break down my favorite thing. I'm going to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how I think these couples are going to, who's going to say yes and who's going to say no at the altar. These are subject to change. Okay. All right. First up, Ashley, Tyler. 10, 10, both say yes. Bar none. Bar none. Garrett and Taylor. I think a 10 for him to say yes. 4 for her to say yes. I don't see it. Don't know what it is. I just don't see it yet. Stephen Monica. Um, I think a 10 yes on him. I'm gonna go like a 5 or 6 yes for her so far. Tim Alex, we don't know what the fuck's going on. I guess we get a TBD whether or not they're gonna still be together after the next batch of episodes. Nick and Hannah, I think these two remind me of like Brennan and Alexis, I think it is. They remind me of those two a little bit. I think they might work. I think I'm going to say 7 and 7 right now in the yes market. Ramses, Marissa, I'm convinced they're getting married right now. After the first batch, this is going off the first 6 episodes. So I think they were going to, after the first 6 episodes, I think we get 3 weddings. 3 yeses. I mean, three marriages. No, two marriages. 2.5. Alex and Tyler are getting married. Ramsey and Marissa are getting married. Nick and Hannah are maybe. The rest of them, not happening. All right, that is it for this jam-packed first episode of Love is Blind Season 7. It is crazy, wild, and I'm so excited that we are back talking about this show. Let me know what you guys think about this batch of episodes. See you guys next week to talk episodes 7, 8, and 9.